So today we're going to work on tuning your ukulele. First you have to know what you're doing with your tuner. You turn the tuner on by pushing the button and holding it. And then the screen turns and you can see that it's on. Across the bottom there are little letters. The one that's farthest off to the left is C, and that stands for chromatic. If I push my button, it moves to G for guitar, again, B for bass, again, V for violin, again, U, C, which means uke in the key of C. Push it again, uke in the key of D. And some of you might not have that option on there to go to uke, key of C, uke, key of D, in which case you're just going to go to the U, which is for ukulele. And what happens is the tuner then knows what notes to search for when it's helping you to tune. All right? So I want to toggle back so that I'm on U, C, and the tuner will remember that. So when I turn it off by holding the button down, the next time I turn it on, it's going to remember that you're going to tune a ukulele in the key of C. If you're having trouble tuning, be sure to check those letters on the bottom, because that's usually what's the matter with it. The tuner just doesn't recognize the notes you're asking it to recognize, because different instruments have different letter names for their strings, different frequencies of notes. When you tune your ukulele, you have to do two things at the same time. You have to pluck the string, and you have to turn the tuning peg. Okay? If I turn the tuning peg forward on the G string, it tightens the string and it makes the pitch go higher. Notice I have to keep pulling the string. If I turn it the other way, it lowers it because it's loosening the string. I'll turn it sideways. Okay? When I turn this peg counterclockwise, it tightens it. Counterclockwise, it tightens it. All right? Okay, first I'm going to turn on the tuner. Make sure that it's on the ukulele C setting or the uke setting. Now I'm going to pluck my first string, G. My tuner says it's an E. Oh, that's really low, so I'm going to go E, F, G. I have to turn it quite a bit. I'm tightening the string by turning the peg forward. And the little dial moved to the center, and the screen turned green, and now my G is in tune. Next I'm going to move over to the C string, follow it up, find its peg. I'm going to pluck that string. Tuner says it's a C, but the dial's way over to the left, so I know that that C is low, so I'm going to tighten it by turning it forward. And it turns green. So my C is in tune. The next string I'm going to is the E string. It says it's an E. Now I have to tighten this and I have to do something weird, and that's because when I'm looking at the ukulele on the right hand side, counterclockwise would make me turn it so it looks like you're turning it backwards. So while to tighten a string, you go forward on the left. On the right, you go backward. So if I want to tighten this string, and there I am. Turns green, I'm in tune. Now I'm going to move to the A string. says it's an A, but now the dial is way over to the right, which means that it's too high. So I'm going to have to loosen that string in order to make the pitch lower. So I find its string, and it turned green. Now it's always better for some reason, and I don't really know why, but to end by being turning up. So I would go a little bit beyond, and then I would go back and make sure that it's green. Now let's see if the string stayed in tune. Let's go back and check for the G. Not quite. It needs to get tightened just a little bit. Go back to the C string. Got to tune it just a little. Go back to the E string. That's in tune. And the A string, it's in tune. And now my ukulele's in tune. I reach up, push the button in the middle to turn the tuner off to save the batteries. Okay? And that's what you have to do each time you play your ukulele. And eventually you get so that you can do it without looking at the tuner, pretty much so. But if you watch the great famous people that are playing, they're checking their tuners all the time. They play a song on stage and then they look at their tuners and they make sure they're in tune. Because people can be really particular about that. And it always sounds better if it's in tune. And that's how you tune a uke.